The Neophyte is a tough enemy on Lost Colony. He moves quick, he hits hard, and he has a huge health pool for you to take down. Not only that, but he has a 95% reduced damage from your tames. Thing is though, he drops really good loot, and in this video I'm going to show you how you can easily and quickly farm him to get some of the best loot in Lost Colony. We'll start with taking him down with just your weapons, and we'll finish off with a well-oiled system which will allow you to get better and better tiered loot with every kill. If you like this kind of content, why not consider subscribing? It's free, it helps the channel out, and we'll make sure that you get to see these videos when they post. Let's get into it. So if you're trying to find some Neophytes, a good, easy, reliable way is to get the Lost King's attention, and he will send them to take you down. You can do this by increasing your hostile meter, which appears on the bottom right of the screen. And to do this, you just have to kill a member of the Lost Aligned faction, with each kill increasing it by 1. And if you get it to 50, he's going to send Neophytes after you.
I'm afraid you've made a nuisance of yourself. A few of my special children are on their way to convey my extreme disappointment.
After you get to 50, it might take a little bit of time before you get that little audio cue, and I found leaving the city and then returning back helps trigger it. You'll get a notification that a Neophyte is hunting you on the top, and you'll also see the little fang icon on the bottom right. After you kill the first one and you trigger a second one, you won't get the same audio cue, but you will see the notification as well as the fangs. They will also only hunt you at night, which I believe is around 8 PM to 6 AM. So while you're farming, you'll be trying to get as many kills in during that time as you can. As I mentioned, your tames will do 95% less damage against them, meaning you'll be looking through your arsenal to see which of your guns to use. I found the Lost Colony crossbow pretty decent when you have it on spread, so it shoots 6 arrows. I usually choose the metal arrows. The problem is that it will degrade really fast, so you probably need to have multiple or just one that has a high durability. To be quite honest though, you're really just looking for the highest damage weapon that you have. For me personally, it is an ascended shotgun that I have, so that is what I normally use. When the attacker begins, he will spawn up in the sky and then get a little closer, and when he's close enough, he'll do a dive bomb attack, and then he will, start fighting. And fighting these guys out in the wild can be kind of difficult, as they can comfortably just pick you up and fly you into the air at will, and even pull you off your tames. So this is why I would recommend using a trap if you are farming. To make your vampire trap, you're just going to need a few items. You're going to want to make this out of metal, as they will break rock pretty handy, but metal they do struggle with. So you're going to want 2 metal foundations, 6 metal walls, 2 flat metal ceilings, 1 sloped wall or stairs, a metal door, and some bear traps. You'll only need 1 for each go, but you might want to do this a few times. So first you want to stick down the foundations like so. Next you want to put your ramp. I know you might need the stairs up, but personally I would you only need it on one side, but I would, especially if the ground is like this. Next you want to put down a few windows like this, so just 2 on either side. Then on this one side you want to put double doors like so, and on the other side you just want to put a single one like that. Then 2 flat ceilings, and put your door on this side as well. I always open up this as well. I like to have the doors out, just so it's easier to close them. And finally you just want to put the bear trap. I usually put it in the middle like so. And the concept's pretty easy. You run in here, it gets trapped, you run out, you run around, close door. Very, very simple trap. And I've tested this out extensively, so it works flawlessly each time, with leaving the only question being how to kill them as fast as possible using the least resources. And I want to give you 2 ways of doing this because the second way is so phenomenally efficient that I feel they're going to patch it. So at least you'll have a method and a strategy of doing it in case they do. So once you have him in the trap, like obviously using your high-powered gun is going to be, you know, the best way. Just shoot through the small door on the back. You can shoot through the windows, but you're going to get more bang for your buck doing this. Just be very, very careful because if you get too close, he can actually grab you and pull you into the trap. Another thing you can do is set up a turret like this to shoot metal bolts at him. It can take a fair amount of bolts depending on the level. We'll get into their levels a little later, but it can take a lot of bolts for a higher level one, but you will pick up a few of those bolts after you've taken them down. If you have a gloon, they can also be quite useful as well if you get into trouble. I wouldn't put it on to auto mesmerize though, because it can affect you trying to lead him into the trap. But if you have a few Tylas, well, we can now start doing a bit of damage. I originally started chomping away on my own, but I quickly realized I could just pair them up to get a bit of a mate boost and just let them off. I found that 3 was a great number to just start cutting through them really fast. So I believe the bleed effect has to be working on these, which is pretty cool. I just have him stand back on passive until I get him into the trap, and then I aim them at him. I also have the gloon, as you can see here. Again, I don't have the mesmerize set to auto, but his light effect does seem to help add a little extra damage while they are bleeding him out. I did try this with 5, and 5 Tylas was just too many. I find that 2 can easily do the job, but sometimes they have a problem getting at him. So having 3 means that at least one of the Tylas will probably be taking bites out of him at any time. But the thing I couldn't get over either is they don't seem to be taking any damage when I'm doing this, and I have done this a lot of times. I think he is more focused on me than the actual Tylas, or else he just can't get to the Tylas, but they're just shredding him through the openings while he is just helpless inside in the trap. It also spares your weapon degradation, and you're not spending money on ammo or arrows, so this is definitely the way to do it. Also, this is where I set up my trap on purpose. I had a small base up at the crater, just north of the city, and I originally built my trap just beside my base. So every time I wanted to trigger one, I had to run up to where the crater meets the city on the bridge, and then run back to my trap, take out the Neophyte, and then once I've taken them out, put the loot away, then I'd have to run all the way back up to trigger the next one. For me, it made a lot more sense to have the trap on the bridge closer to where it triggers it, but the truth is you should be able to build this trap anywhere, but if you're farming them, you'll want to build it near where it will re-trigger a second one to attack. Also, just in case you get this far and you're not sure how you should get rid of the hostility, it's actually pretty easy. You just have to go and kill a bunch of revenants, which you'll find at any of the aberrant crash sites, which is the pink areas on the map. Basically, every one you kill drops it down 1 point, so you'd need to kill 50 to get it back to 0. And that's it. It's a simple trap to make, it's a simple trap to use, and even if they patch the Tylas, you can still use the basic structure to be able to take it down. I'm sure there is a lot of other ways to do it. Of course, leave your suggestions and advice in the comments to help us all out, and yeah, that's it. Catch you later, people.